Trucks Outreach. He talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
How's everybody doing today? Welcome to another edition of the Lead Pedal Podcast. This is episode number 983, and this is Lead Pedal Q&A, which means we're going to answer a listener's question today. And I got to tell you that the question is one that surprises me. Looking for a trucking job after the wheel. So we're going to find out all about that right after this. Let's get started. Hey folks, you know that Bison raised their rates at the beginning of the year for owner-operators and for company drivers. And I gotta tell you, it has been so successful that they wanted to let you know exactly how much their drivers are making. That's right, they have significantly increased the base rates for their teams. So owner-operator teams can earn up to $360,000 per year. That's right, you heard me say that right, $360,000 per year. Company team drivers can earn up to $120,000 per year per driver. That's right, per driver. That's some big numbers, right? They have a wide variety of Canada-only dedicated team positions available for folks to choose from, and Bison has a steady freight to keep the teams moving. So if you want to significantly increase your base rates, then you want to make sure that you sign up for that. Now, Bison has also increased the base rates for owner-operators. Owner-operators running Canada only can earn up to $185,000 per year. They have a wide variety of Canada-only positions for owner-operators to choose from, and Bison has a steady freight to keep the owner-operators moving. So where can you learn more about all of these things? I mean, you know, $360,000 for owner-operator teams, $120,000 for company driver teams, and owner-operators running by themselves can earn $185,000 per year. Canada only. Folks, that is incredible. Well, the best place to go is to go to bisondriving.com. And while you're there, while you're talking to the team, would you let them know that you heard about it from the Lead Pedal Podcast? Hey, good luck there. You're going to make some great money working for one of the safest fleets in North America. All right, if I can press the button, that'll get me back on there. Yeah, so today's Q&A came from a listener, and I was surprised because I was at a conference not too long ago, and I asked this specific question, and this came across our socials here, looking for a trucking job after the wheel. So there's lots of people, as you know, the general age of our industry is about 55 years old. So there's probably lots of people that are thinking, what do I do next? It was at a conference not too long ago, and I asked that specific question to a panel who was talking about retention. And a number of them said that this question didn't come up, that people didn't say, hey, what happens after the wheel? Well, maybe nothing happens after the wheel. I just played, I was talking on a show here not too long ago, one of the Bison drivers who are 84 years old, he just got recognized as driver of the year. Somebody else was 92 still on the road. So I don't think there's any age to get off the road. And a lot of people like to drive their whole life. So that's a good thing as well. But what about those that want to get off the road? If we look at my personal opinion, my personal situation, I started driving around that age of 20. Let's just say that a couple years straight truck, whatever. But let's just start. I started at the age of 20. So at the age of 20, I thought that 25 years in the truck was long enough. I don't know why. No other plan. Enjoyed my driving career, so I didn't think, hey, I got to get out of this truck or anything like that. Just felt that there was something. I didn't know what it was because the stuff I'm doing now wasn't even invented back then. But I just felt that there was something. And so I said that, you know what, after 25 years, the age of 45, I plan to be out of the truck. Don't know why. I didn't know that you could go till 65. When you're young, 25 years seems like a long time. When you're old, 25 years is not enough time to get anything done. So I was at that age where it seemed like a long, long time. And so I thought 25 years is going to be enough for me. And I didn't really think about it. I didn't try to get out of the truck. I did when I was probably in my late 30s, early 40s, started thinking about what else could I do. But I had changed companies. So I was working, so I got promoted and I became the supervisor for a company. But before that, the reason I left the former company that I was with, and I had a really good deal there. I had the nice truck, nice dedicated trailer. They kind of let me go wherever I wanted. I kind of ran like an owner operator without having to pay for the truck and all of that. And I had the nicest equipment going, nothing over 2-3 years old, all big bunks, big long wheelbases, the whole bit. But I was bored. And I thought I wanted to go. And I was working for a family-owned company, so I didn't see where else I could go. And the bad thing for me is I didn't talk to them. That's the one thing I regret to this day is I didn't go and talk to them and say, here's what I'm looking at. I just didn't see an opportunity. And I left. So I went to a company where I thought there would be opportunity, and that's where I drove for another 9 years and then got promoted and all of that. So I brought this up at a panel. I said, well, how many of your drivers are maybe not telling you, but they are actually thinking about this? And I'm wondering how many of you, feel free to leave us in the comments here, how many of you are in that situation where you don't want to say anything to your employer because you're thinking, well, that might put me out of a job. Maybe there's no opportunities there. Maybe they're thinking I'm looking elsewhere. But how many of you are getting bored and then not doing anything? And this could be a real trap. So what should you be doing? How could you be? And again, this is just general information for me or that I'm giving out. Please check with professionals. You may want to talk to a career counselor or somebody like that. And not when I say career counselor, I'm not saying, career counselor like in school, but you may want to talk to somebody who executive management who places people and what they're looking for and that kind of thing. I remember when I started looking into moving up, I started looking at what courses I needed. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I can tell you. If you are looking to, first of all, decide what type of job you want to do. If you're looking at some of the jobs that are available for drivers outside of driving, you can look at anything from operations to dispatch to training to safety to recruiting to warehousing, anything. There's all kinds of stuff, and any trucking company has many of those roles depending on what you like to do and what you're good at. The people part is really important. We get a lot of people, especially in the training industry, who say, well, I want to be a trainer, but then they're really not good at training. They might be good truck drivers, but they're not good at training because training's a totally different skill, people, all of that kind of stuff. So maybe take a course on that if you've got that. If you're thinking about going to, you want to go somewhere like recruiting or something, are you good with people? You may have the marketing skills. Now realize a lot of those jobs that you're going to take in the office might actually be a pay cut for you depending on what your situation is now, especially if you're an owner-operator. You may find that things that go down, there's a lot of stress that goes away, but there's also a lot of income that goes down. Is that something you want to do? But probably the biggest thing I can say is to start educating yourself, keep educating yourself. When I got my promotion, it's because I went back to school right when everything was going digital, and it was a way for me to switch over. So how can you switch over is what you need to think about and what you need to do. So that's probably the biggest thing, is keeping yourself educated and keeping yourself invested in what's going on. If you have the time, depending on if you're on the road, you may not be able to. If you have the time, you may want to start joining associations and stuff like that, where you can see what opportunities are coming up and get into it that way. But thinking about what you like to do, thinking about what products and services you may want to get into sales for a transportation product. Any transportation knowledge you have is going to go a long way. So you certainly want to think about that. But keeping yourself educated, looking for opportunities, and putting a plan in place well before you're ready to retire so that you can start working on it and get it going and get some momentum. And whether that's learning about it, creating a business on the side, whatever it might be, get it going while you're doing what you're doing, so that when you do decide to make that change, you're making it seamlessly. And again, be careful. Lead Pedal, our Lead Pedal Q&As, this is just general information. Please talk with somebody who's a professional in that space to make sure you're making the right thing. You don't want to jump and find out that you're not making enough money to pay your rent or whatever it is. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully that gets you to where you're able to make that transition. So there is life after the wheel. I'm in media for the transportation industry. That's where I went. I didn't know podcasting was even around, but I certainly enjoy it to this day. So hopefully that helps you. And here's our friends over at Driver Verified. Hey folks, today's driver industry is changing like crazy. There's no more paper resumes or applications for you to fill out. Nowadays, it's all online profiles, and the big companies just pull right from the ministry offices to make sure that the documents they're getting are official. So why not make sure that you're official and in control of your work history? That's where Driver Verified comes in. All you have to do is go to driververified.com and create your own profile. You can create a profile, you can put your awards in, you can put pictures in, you can put your resume up there, and you know what? It is searchable. It's searchable by the insurance industry, it's searchable by the carriers, and it's searchable by you. You can send people a direct report. It's free to set up. You don't pay anything unless you start sending out reports. And you know what? The companies will even pay that for you probably anyway. But you can do this on your own. If you're a driver, an owner-operator, a company, or an insurance broker, then this is for you. Go to driververified.com, create your profile today, and get yourself in command of your documentation so that you know your work history and you have something that's presentable to the industry. And you know what? When you're talking to them, tell them the Lead Pedal Podcast sent you. All right, my friends, driververified.com. That's where I'd go. Bye for now. All right, there you go. That's where I'd go too. All right, so there you go. If you're looking for something to do after the wheel, then I would certainly look into educating yourself. Maybe talk to somebody who's professional in the executive placement or job placement market, so they can tell you what's kind of required, what's available. If you got a good company, just go talk to your company. They'd probably love to keep you, especially if you've got many talents. That might be a good place to start. All right, and you never have to leave, right? You can talk to them and you go, that's not for me, and you keep driving. Or you can make your own way, like many of us have done. Hopefully that helps you. Thanks for listening to another episode. Again, get some professional information on the subject if that's where you want to go. Follow us on social. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can find us on TikTok. You can also find me on LinkedIn, and also download our app. And as you know, we are moving our radio station to Mixcloud.com. So look for Lead Pedal Radio over on Mixcloud.com. All right, everybody. Thanks very much for listening. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com and be sure to